You got your hoodie on now, Dave.
Mate, I've got the hoodie on now. I've got to look less fat.
Ah, smart.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mate, I was fine until about 18 months ago. Like, I could eat whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And I never put weight on.
Right.
And I'm not sure if it's because I stopped playing rugby or because I'm just getting old. Probably both.
Oh, you've been playing rugby all your life?
Yeah,
basically?
since I was 6 years old, mate.
Oh, right.
Mate, I fucking... What?
It's kind of gay. Rugby's gay.
Rugby's
Will agree with me as well.
Rugby's not gay. It's not gay.
Rugby's
Gotta
gay.
make sure your mic is...
Rugby's not gay. Fucking football... Oh, hello. Hey. Hang on.
Oh, is it recorded?
It's
This is funny.
It's recording now, yeah.
Rugby is gay because rugby just gives guys a chance to touch each other. But it's acceptable.
Yeah, it's not gay.
It's not gay. It's not gay. If you
It's
play
not gay
rugby.
because it's
not
in the name
gay-
of sport.
It's not gay if you're in a scrum and you fucking
Mate,
face
are you genuinely telling me that you have never thought to yourself, I really want to put my head between that guy's legs right now, but if it was in rugby, it would be fine.
Standard Cardano, guys.
It's such a rugby guy.
Why are you making this about crypto? This is
It is about crypto.
It is crypto.
it's got nothing to do with crypto.
Ada
mate.
holders are gay.
I just walked straight past the studio. By the way. The guy came and was like, excuse me. I was like, where's 10:31?
Is that the motor, mate? The
Yeah,
What day
motor.
is it?
Yeah,
What day is
man, killing me here. Cool
Right,
bronies.
okay. So we're back. We've had these guys. Well,
We've had a-
so far actually, they've roped me in.
Drinks
We've
break.
had a couple of beers.
Tea break.
It's going to liven up the session,
Yeah.
and we're moving straight on. We're going to get the ball rolling, and we're going to move on to the XRP Maxi himself, Crypto Insight UK.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Pav.
So we're gonna speak about XRP. We're going to speak about. In fact, I've got a question for you because
Go on then, hit me.
we want the source.
Okay,
we
let
want the source. You got to give the people what they want, and
You
the
do.
people want the XRP Alpha.
There's a lot going on in the XRP community at the minute. Am I slurring my words first off?
No.
Probably a little bit.
Is what it is.
Nah,
but carry
It's
on.
just a little slur. It's all right. It's just a lisp. So, to start with, at the minute, we're in, at the time of recording, which XLA, which is like XRP Ledger's conference. It's in Singapore. And we've had some big announcements in the last few days. As you guys know, I'm quite bullish on Flare, like FLR, Flare Networks. Shout out Hugo Filion, lives out here in Dubai, good guy, met him a few times. And he's always had a lot of time for me and like a time when I wasn't very big in my like social media journey as well. He was always the same with me then as he is now. A very technical person, really into Flare Networks and technology. But shout out to him anyway. So what's going on in the XRP ecosystem right now? We are starting like a bit of an XRP craze right now. An XRP craze where a lot of different legacy institutions are starting to back their reserves with XRP. And we're currently at this period where we don't really know what they're doing that for. Whether they're doing that for like number go up reason, or are they doing that as Vivo Power is doing to deploy that into the XRP ecosystem and start to use like DeFi on the XRPL or EVM sidechain, which is about to come out through Persist on the XRPL. So far, we're not sure, but Vivo specifically have allocated $100 million worth of XRP to Flare Networks to be utilized in their DeFi ecosystem, however that might look going forwards. Obviously, you can stake on Flare. Currently, you can wrap Flare and use Flare specifically to get Flare drops, which is just to get more Flare tokens for the distribution of the Flare networks. But using XRP on FXRP, which is what it will be when it's released, it's not actually out yet. It's out on Songbird currently, which is a Canary network for Flare. You will be able to wrap XRP in Flare and use it for DeFi activities on the Flare Networks protocol to be able to earn FXRP, Flare, and also XRP, and a mixture if you want to do these things. I hope I'm right on all that. Had 3 bronies and 1
I was going to
mimosa.
say, wrap it up, bro. Wrap it up.
No, I'm not finished yet.
That's the message here.
Right,
Wrap it
you're
up.
good.
Back to God on it.
Ah, it's interesting.
Back to God on it.
There's a lot going on in the ecosystem. I think that like outside play, this is some alpha for you guys. My outside dark horse for this this bull cycle is Flare Networks. I think people don't like to say these sorts of things, especially on podcasts, but I think that at the minute Flare Networks is at about 1.9 cent in terms of like price action, and there's a chance that we could see 40-cent Flare Network this cycle as a moderate target, and maybe $1 to $2 as a high side price target. I'm starting to take profits personally at 14 cent, but 40 is my moderate price target, and I think that it's a dark horse for the cycle.
Can I ask you a quick question, Will?
Yeah,
Sorry.
ask me a couple. Come on, hit me.
So, have you heard anything lately about the XRP ETF or the potential about an XRP ETF? Because I've heard in the like Solana ecosystem. I mean, obviously Solana and XRP are the two next likely ETFs. And I've heard that Solana is likely to be approved in like July times. Have you heard something similar in XRP?
Well, I've heard that. I don't know if it was sold. Let me just
Litecoin, so XRP. Someone
I
tweeted
just
it.
wanna-
Someone
I
spoke.
just
He's going to say Cardano, but Cardano's not.
I
even
can
in
say
there.
no. I just would jump in here, like.
Can I add two things? Let me say two things. First,
general global macro.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is big up to Xi Jinping, right?
yo, can't say anything, bro.
We got it, mate. We got it. No.
Just in terms of like the next crypto ETFs to be listed in
Yep.
the US mainly, because the US is, as you said, the biggest capital market.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's likely to be Solana, XRP, potentially Litecoin. Cardano is probably.
You know,
a few
Cardano.
years-
It's like a horse race. Cardano's the three-legged one in the back there. Like,
Cardano's like,
it's the 100 to 1 in the back. Go on, lad.
Cardano in this situation, like the annoying little brother, just shut up, man. Just shut the fuck up.
Whoa. Cardano ETF,
Oh, God.
literally, just like 3 days ago, was delayed by the SEC.
I know it
as a
was.
decision.
But
Yeah. So don't tell
hang
me
on,
that
hang on.
Cardano is so far behind on ETFs.
Yeah,
it's
but
so
hang on,
far
was
behind.
XRP's ETF delayed? No, it was actually put out to public for public questioning, which was the first step before the ETF for
But
ETH and the Bitcoin, which is what's just happened with XRP, whereas Solana and Cardano, unfortunately, were both denied.
I personally think Solana and XRP will be listed around the same time. I was just wondering if.
All right. You just jumped on it.
I was just wondering if you had heard anything about when you think
No,
the
but-
XRP ETF might
When
launch.
ETF.
I also did see speculation from Brad Gardenhouse, obviously CEO of Ripple, saying that July was the time.
Yeah, that's
So
what I've heard for Solana as well. But
I've
we'll
heard
see.
that, but
So-
I don't know anything more than what we've heard.
Right.
But that's all I've heard from
Yeah,
Gardenhouse.
Interesting.
So if that is going to happen, I presume there'll be a cluster. But with is it Paul Atkins, the new SEC? Is that the new SEC chair? In this last week, he's put out a whole tweet thread. Obviously, that's not legislation, but also been on record and done 2 or 3 talks about pro crypto legislation this week. So, which is at the time of recording. What's the date today?
12th, I
12th
think.
June.
12th of June, 2025. So it's looking pretty positive for crypto in the US, which is obviously what we want to see. And because although we do joke about the US, it's like a lot of the countries around the world do follow like the US's like regulatory structure and follow in their footsteps whenever things happen over there. At least use it as a guide rail for their own like legislation.
Yeah.
So Dave,
Struck off.
Dave, tell us a little bit about what's going on in Cardano right now.
I've really-
Because what I've actually been genuinely, as much as we joke on this podcast about things, like what I've been genuinely interested in is like in this last, like I'd say 6 month like period where it's been kind of different. Cardano or ADA, the ticker, has actually outperformed a lot in the market. Is there a specific reason for that, or could you give us an insight to that? It was at least the leader in the first pumps.
What I would say, the only reason why it's currently outperforming a lot of the others is because it was one of the cryptos that was named when Trump stood up on stage and said, basically he just looked at the top 10 that weren't stable coins and he went, yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP.
Yeah, he
Solana.
listed XRP first, just FYI.
In order. It's not right.
Like, either way,
that's a
he
nibble,
literally
that's a
went
big
off
nibble.
of the list. Like, he literally went through the top 10
Yeah.
and he announced.
And he said,
you know,
and he said Cardano last.
No, it was second, I think.
No, I think
second,
second.
I think it was second.
Because that's where they sit in that top 10 market.
Oh.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like,
Anyway,
why
sorry.
are you trying to create drama?
Come on, let's get back to
We're
it.
supposed to be sat here trying to find reasons to do this, and that is not a fist pump
It's just
reason.
really hard to do that with a Cardano.
I tell you, oh fucking hell, Pab! I should have swapped places with you and Will. Maybe even Matt's the fucking Danish.
I'll give it to you. After XRP and Solana.
I'll give it to you too, baby.
After XRP and Solana, Cardano is an interesting project. That's a fist bump worthy thing, right?
Yeah, no,
I'll give you that on the basis that I know how much you also love Hyperliquid. So, yeah,
It's not
I
hype,
think
it's banana gun, isn't it?
is that got its own token?
What?
Banana.
Yeah.
Banana.
Yeah.
Big token.
Where is
on
that?
Coinbase
Where is
soon,
that
I've
in
heard.
Coin market cap listings?
Well, it's like 100 mil market cap.
Get listed on Coinbase soon, I've heard.
No comment.
No,
That wasn't even the alpha that I was talking about.
To be
that
honest,
was just
when after like 5 or 6 years, Cardano finally got listed on Coinbase.
Well, XRP got delisted.
Yeah, XRP got delisted, and Cardano went down like 20%. So I really, as much as I love a bold guy, I think yeah, you want
Brian Armstrong.
What?
yeah, Brian Armstrong. I don't think listing on Coinbase means shit.
It's not
to be
bullish.
honest.
It's bearish.
Anyway, sorry.
It's
We're
pretty
talking about
bad.
Cardano. Let's get back to Cardano.
Yeah. No. You did ask a question about. I can't remember now.
Yeah, what was
He said, "What's going on? What's the drama?
What's
Yeah,
going
what's
on,
happening?
man?
What's
No,
happening?
there's a lot.
But
There's
can
a
I
lot.
say- source,
Can I just
please.
say, Dave, before the ETFs, Cardano was one of the first tokens to pump. Like, you know, before like when
Cardano follows its own pattern. It always did. Go back to 2021.
held it at 0.5%.
Cardano,
and I killed myself for that.
So basically, Cardano has always had its own path. Like, not quite Tron levels, right?
Which is
But
a scam.
It's basically what's his name?
Justin Sun.
Justin Sun.
I know. I'll take this out. Don't post this. I'm going to get
Justin
slaughtered
Sun.
online.
Basically, it's a load
I love
of
Tron.
Asian people wanting to get USDT.
Clearly a demand for it. This is actually quite an important thing to
of
talk
course,
about.
but the demand is about stables.
Yeah.
And it is about in Asia wanting to be able to utilize a quick, cheap method of transferring stable value from one person to another.
Exactly why Ripple is spending so money on Asia, in my opinion. So much money on Asia.
And I wish Cardano would step up and do the same. Like, there is 39 proposals that have made it through to what we call the governance action. So this is the first on-chain vote. It actually looks like the platform that's covering this or doing this is called Intersect, and that's like an MBO, okay, members-based organisation. So they're putting on-chain budget actions for 39 different projects, and we were one of them. So we're basically looking at doing ecosystem pavilions within the exhibition events around the world, but there's all sorts in there, whether it be, for example, open source projects, whether it be IOG themselves, whether it be to fund Catalyst from the Treasury going forwards. Now, up until now, Catalyst funding would happen 2 or 3 times a year. It was always 20 to 50 million of funding to help to grow the ecosystem. That's now, because we've now gone to on-chain governance, it's now something that the community has to vote on. 50% is the cut-off for the budget action. Not sure if we're going to pass. 67% is the withdrawal action. Only IOG proposal to do a load of other things like scalability, software, etc., to help to grow the chain, looks like it'll pass.
Why you didn't or might not have your funding. When from the outside, it seems that we met specifically through Discover Cardano, which you're funding out your own pocket.
So currently there's a budget proposal in which is covering the whole 39 proposals that got past the 50% threshold. In the next few weeks, hopefully, touch wood, there will be a. It's just been voted on that we're going to do 39 separate proposals. We're not going to bucket them all into one big one. So,
But also, who can read 39 proposals?
the what?
You saying there's 39 different like applications at the same time?
Yeah.
No one reads 39 different ones. no, they don't. Like, bro, I can barely read XRP's white paper. Let alone 39
according
proposals.
to the D-reps, the D-reps are decentralized reps. So basically, on Cardano, if you hold ADA, you can delegate your ADA voting power, right? According to the D-reps, they had a choice. They could either do one big proposal or split it into like 2 or 3 different buckets, or do it as 39 individual. All of the D-reps, the winning proposal was that we did 39 separate ones. Now, fortunately for the D-reps in the ecosystem, those 39 proposals have already been voted on twice already to get to this stage. And it's just because it's a first time go at governance, the last 2 votes have been off chain. Going forwards, I'm hoping that they learn a lot and they change things. As it currently stands, the D-reps have voted to have 39 separate proposals. So that means, hopefully, that there will be that they're happy to actually vote on the 39 proposals as separate proposals, and then it is done. So it's actually quite. I'm a D-rep myself, and actually, I voted for 39 separate purely because I'm quite happy to spend a couple of days. Right,
Yeah, but you're also probably going to promote your own, not you.
No,
but like,
so just so like you know, like I have a D-rep key, so I'm a D-rep. But I have purposefully, because I have a proposal in this round, and it's the first one, right? I have purposefully not published my D-rep key for people to put it in. Like I was just like, I've literally got myself and one of the Discover Cardano guys voting, like delegating their votes towards me. Yeah. It's basically less than like 2,000 ADA. It's nothing. Okay. So I've purely done it for that reason. Like after this, I will not be asking for any more money going forwards.
Yeah.
And I will then push and promote my D-rep key.
Yeah.
But what I felt like I needed to do was show the community how I would vote in certain situations for them to feel like, is this guy I can fuck with or not? Am I happy to delegate my ADA?
I think this is like a good way to transition the conversation into like things that we think are good and bad about each of the protocols, and what I think that we as a space need to work on generally.
Yeah, go for it.
It's like, we've discussed this multiple times, and like one of the main negatives to Cardano, for example, is that they don't understand that you need to market the chain, which is something that Solana do very well. Yeah. Solana, in terms of marketing, right now, apart from Sui, I'd say are the top chain. I'd say Sui are the top, because Sui in terms of like market share to mind share is the top, but Solana is probably the top in terms of marketing overall.
Shall I tell you something? I know that there's projects on Cardano that are currently building on Sui. Based on the current status quo, there is more money to be made elsewhere.
Exactly. And that's why Mantle actually is a great example of this. It's why they capture a lot of the market and the ETH L2 space, because they market well. We have good products, actually. I'd say out of the L2s, you have the best products, because from my outside perspective, and could be completely wrong, like most of the L2s are pretty shit, just copy each other. Whereas Mantle do actually spend the money to go out and market, and also have the most innovative products out of the L2s. And that's why Market and Mantle capture that market share. What's going on in Mantle right now in terms of marketing and market share?
It's a tough one. Obviously, we had what hurt Mantle specifically was obviously everything that happened with Bybit not so long ago. Obviously in March, that kind of hurt like the market share of MNC itself. But like as far as L2 goes, like they're all pretty much the same thing. Like they're all pretty much, what's the best way to describe it? Almost like a solar system of planets, all serve the same purpose. But it just depends which kind of chain has the most attractive yields, the most attractive, like you said, who can market themselves better, who can push the correct narratives. And I feel of all the L2s, obviously I'm going to be biased saying this, but Mantle is up there in the top, like 5, whatever. Obviously you got Base being the top. They are great at what they do. I think marketing in general.
Yeah, but they get their marketing from Coinbase, isn't it? They just
Yeah.
get all Coinbase.
Yeah, I know,
is
but
like,
they've got really cool,
clientele.
like Jesse, like people in their community who are like really well respected. They've got really well respected like builders in the space. They really like take time to dissect their community and give their applications who build on Base the time of day and give them the amplification that they need to kind of survive and thrive in the space, which is something that we are still trying to almost take a leaf out of Base's kind of transcript when it comes to that. And you know, I think that's super important when it comes to chains and chains when they are marketing their ecosystems, and I think Base do it really well. In fact, I think Solana do it really well as well.
Solana's really good at marketing.
Yeah, when we look at marketing, we benchmark ourselves against like Solana, Base. We always look at what these guys are doing first, and then try and take inspiration from them and apply it to ourselves, who have a really good ecosystem, we have our own respective builders, cracked builders within the space, and
I think clearly what Solana have nailed is Max's demographic, and being like Ragnar's demographic, and the younger people who create content like Ragnar. He has really taken to Solana specifically because of like what's going on there. But like if you look at most demographics talking about or promote, not saying promoting, but I'm just talking about like actually actively making content about Solana, it's all the similar age content creators like yourself. So they've nailed capturing the audience of content creators in your age group.
Yeah, I think they've just done a great job in making sure the user experience overall on chain is really good. So it makes it super easy to onboard brand new users and complete like newbies to the space, because it's fairly simple with most of the protocols. And they've also, like, they started with that, and then they also do a great job with funding like the different super teams, etc., which focus on each different region.
It's sick in terms of like what it does. I don't know how they make the money from it, but like it is a really good incentive. Like it's so good. Like every single time I see super teams, I'm like, how the hell are they doing that? But they do it, and it brings a lot of eyes to the space.
I think for me personally, I feel like you reap what you sow, and I feel like at the moment Solana is riding the wave of momentum. Yeah. Whereas on Cardano, we're still struggling with what they.
We had your momentum wave in 21.
We should have had the momentum.
Well, I think you did. You went to like $3.30.
I tell you what, the problem we had, right? 2021. Do you know where we did well? Was we had in 2021 in the summer, right? Everything was stagnant, and then in the August time, just before we had that first peak, everybody jumped on, like Becca and people like that, the KOLs. They jumped on the fact that we were going to get smart contracts in the September, and they jumped on that. And then when it came to it, when the smart contracts released, we didn't have any commercial partners with a smart contract. All we could do the day that smart contracts released was name a lobster toy. That's all you could do, and it took 3 or 4 months. And big respect to the Cardano platforms that were able to create a smart contract within 3 months. Okay, what we didn't do was say IOG didn't go, okay, 6 months pre-smart contract release, let's bring on commercial partners. Let's make sure that on the day of the smart contract release, we have smart contract platforms. Let's get for example, a Sunday swap or a Min swap or whoever online, so that on the day of the release, people had a smooth transition from non-smart contracts to. Do you know what were happening in September 2021 in the summer? We had escrow. We had escrow NFT 6 months previous. We had NFTs. If you wanted to sell your NFT to somebody else, basically we had tnft.io, started off a Discord server and then became like an online website. So basically, if I wanted to sell my NFT, I'd have to
OTC it.
It wasn't.
If I was going to make a prediction for this cycle, I think you'll see the trimming of the fat like across L2s this cycle. I think a lot of the L2s are going to die a death, especially when not talking about Mantle, because I think they're going to be one of the front runners. I think the front runners will stay. They always do, at least for the cycle. But you'll see people like the laggers, like one of the ones I've been talking about is like Blast, for example. I've looked into them a lot. I think they'll probably fall off because it's the same discussion that we've had. It's like the marketing's not there anymore. So when the marketing's not there, then they fall off.
It's just an attention economy, like
Yeah.
you can attract the most attention, and they're just not doing anything right now.
And,
Do you know
and
what I
that's the
mean?
same in crypto in general. So if you have the same product over like 20 L2s, whoever can keep the attention stays, and everyone else who's not innovating or doing something at least a little bit different, like Cardano, or at least like Solana, you could call it an L1, I guess. A shit L1, but you call it no, I'm joking. You call it an L1, but those who are innovating will probably stay around or doing something different, and then those who have the best marketing within the rest of the space will also probably stay around. The rest will, well, they'll slowly start to get unlocked and sell down on their allocation.
Personally, as like the market as a whole, I personally am very bullish. I do think we go a lot higher this year. If there's like one specific thing, I might be biased, but banana token is one that I find very interesting at the moment. Just because their market cap 100 mil compared to their profits is just really, really solid. They're at the moment, just with their Telegram bot, which is mainly coming from Ethereum, is doing like 500K a week pure profit. They're launching their web app this upcoming week, which probably will catch a lot of the market share of the Solana ecosystem. They should be a very high revenue and high profit earning protocol, and they're still like a 6-7x away from all-time highs.
So just to confirm then, so 500K a week, so that's roughly 2.5 million every month.
Quick maths.
2 million every month.
Yeah, that's just
2
for
million.
Telegram
So that's 24 million, right? So just for the Telegram bot, so that's 2 million.
My personal prediction is that with their web app, they should at least like double their profits.
He only told me that when we were walking across. I was like, I'm gonna buy some banana if those facts are true. Then I'm gonna buy some.
Yeah.
My thoughts are, because we've got to keep it sweet.
Yeah.
My thoughts are we go significantly higher, probably higher than people expect. I've always said 180 plus for Bitcoin. I think 150 to 180, but I realistically think 180 plus. And if I was going to pick a dark horse, obviously I'm mainly an XRP. Flare Networks is my dark horse. Flare Networks, I think, is going to outperform what it has the chance to do, like a 10 to 50x from here.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, similar boat. I think if you've read the weekly insight for years now,
which you should be fucking reading.
Should be reading. Even when we were in the depths of the bear market, we were talking about this 150 to 180 range of Bitcoin base potentially topping out. However, saying that, things have changed a lot. We're in a completely different market. There's completely different kind of things to take into consideration this cycle. So I think we go higher. I'll keep it simple for you. I think there are winners and there are losers. Follow the narratives. Follow where the attention is. Attention still, in my opinion, is still going to be heavily focused on like things like AI. I still think, although people think that ship's sailed, I still think the ship is going to continue to sail on resale on that narrative. And my pick for you guys is Desync. It's definitely a project.
Been shouted out in the newsletter as well.
Been shouted out in the newsletter. Definitely one I'm keeping my eye on. And in terms of other winners, which I'm looking at ETH beta plays, particularly like Uniswap. And some other tokens like that, which we shouted out, and ENA as well. Yeah, huge fans of ENA, which we've been shouting out for so long. We shouted out Uniswap a week ago, and it went up 30% in it.
Can I just say, sorry, Dave, just quickly, we're not sponsored by any of these. Like, we have no monetary affiliation with any of these projects.
I'll be honest with you guys. I thought the weekly newsletter was just Will crying in his bedroom.
No, it's much more.
Now I know that you're in it as well.
It's split into two sections.
I might actually read it.
We cried. Dave, finish the podcast. Sum us up and tell us what you're bullish on and what you're bearish on the next 6 months.
I'll be honest with you. I'm bullish on them. Just regardless of the actual crypto itself, I'm bullish on the opportunity for real growth.
Yeah, I think that takes us back to that Tron comment that we said earlier. You know how we like kind of slagged Tron off and like we joked about it, and like honestly on the fundamental level I don't know much about Tron, but realistically if they can give people access to the US dollar, for example, in this situation for like a fraction of a cent of a transaction value, then it makes it an invaluable chain, and that's why stablecoins potentially going to be so young demographic.
And the demographic, and you need to appeal to that.
But also from like a speculation age into like a utility age. That's what I think we're seeing from in Web3. We're seeing speculation of all these things becoming possible to us trying to push through the barrier of being utility based, like driven in crypto specifically.
Yeah. Bang on.
Peace, everyone.
Guys,
peace. Power Rangers.
Good
Power
stuff.
Rangers. Let's go, Power Rangers.
Thank
for
you
having
guys.
us.